Every year, hundreds of incoming freshmen to the University of Wisconsin struggle to find housing. Most freshmen have a spot at a university-provided residence hall, but this year, over 450 students did not have an offer for on-campus housing. Jenna, a sophomore at UW, was told by University Housing that she did not have a secure spot in a dorm room and was instead presented with an alternative option.
I would be like in a den with all of our stuff, and like they would move us whenever a spot opened, and it would have been in like 2 weeks, or it could be the whole semester, and like everything was up in the air and they couldn't do anything about it. And what frustrated me is that I had a roommate picked out already, and she already had a room, and they said they couldn't put me in the room she was already in.
Housing shortages have been a common trend for UW since 2003, when the housing waitlist topped 800 students. The number has stayed about the same since then, but last year UW turned away 697 students from its dorms, which is a shame to Paul Evans, the director of housing at UW, because the on-campus experience benefits new freshmen academically and socially, he says. As of August 1st, 2008, University housing was overassigned by 129 students, yet even with a shortfall of beds for freshmen, the Statesider and Towers are hardly full and the Langdon has closed.
All the freshmen that are coming are going to want to live on campus. We think that if we had enough housing, we could house somewhere around 91% of the freshmen. As it is now, we're well over 80. So we're really close to the number we think. But we would like not to turn away students.
Assigning students to dens is one way university housing deals with its overflow problem.
This is my living quarters. I mean, we got a desk on these nice beds, and we have 3 refrigerators here. And this is my closet space. Perfect for me. All my clothes. So
I call pretty much every day about my housing. And one day they just said we found a spot free, you're going to be expanded housing. You got 3 roommates. That was pretty much it, and I got a letter a couple days later.
It was pretty much what they gave us. You're in a den, if not, find some other place. That's how it is.
I'm not complaining. I mean, we have air conditioning, and nobody else does. And we're paying less for it, so that's probably the best part.
The newest addition to the Madison housing market is the Lucky Apartments. Owned by Steve Brown, this 14-floor apartment complex is offering a program for freshmen called Lucky 101. Taylor, a first-year student, lives on one of the all-freshman floors in Lucky.
I heard about it actually through the mail. I got in kind of late. I got in on wait list, and since I couldn't get into the dorms, it was kind of like between this, Statesider, and Towers.
We house a lot of the freshmen. And so however many there are left, they're going to be spread about all these different options, whether they stay at home, whether they move into the Statesider, Towers, Highlander, Lucky, wherever it might be. You know, I think there's almost maybe too much of that, potentially. That the Langdon, I know, had very few students who had signed up for it. So when Steve Brown bought it back, I don't think there was very many in there, and so it was probably a natural decision to close it and then decide if you're going to redevelop.
University House, a private housing company, has downsized its properties in Madison this year. Campus Advantage, a college housing company out of Austin, currently operates the Statesider and Towers dorms.
Lucky has made a difference. Not a huge impact because the freshman piece of that is a small portion of the beds that they have there. It'll even out after a while, but it definitely does make an impact when you have a brand new property come on board. Everybody wants to see it, wants to live there.
Compared to like the dorms, like everybody I keep talking to is like, oh my god, the dorms are so cramped. It's weird like having my own apartment, and like, because it's going from living at home with my parents to like literally my own like little house, and it's a huge switch.
Right now, we would love to have more residents in the building. We are not full. However, we're doing everything we can to change that. We're reaching out to students who aren't able to get into the university housing. We also do marketing efforts on our own to catch students who want to live here.
To accommodate almost 100% of freshmen at University of Wisconsin, University Housing has crafted a plan to create 400 new beds in the Lakeshore Development project. The proposal for 2 new residence halls, a dining facility, and a student service center would cost an estimated $60 million, funded entirely from residence hall revenue. The proposal was shot down in the state assembly.
So we certainly will once again be talking to the governor's office, the department administration, and the state legislature about the need for this and the hope that they'll approve it. So we will once again be working on that during this year. We think the choice idea is a good idea. We wouldn't want to say to you, you have to live on campus even if you don't want to live on campus. But right now, we would argue that students don't have that choice.
Republican State Representative Steve Noss was not available for an on-camera interview. His research assistant, Mike Michelson, says Noss understands the long-term need for new dorms at the University of Wisconsin campus, but with the massive debt facing Wisconsin's budget, it is more important to relieve the state from debt than build new dorms at this time. Michelson said the Madison housing market is saturated and there is no need for dorms right now. Cara Harshman for the Badger Herald.